Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition here on High Heat as we talked about what's going on as far as the world of baseball is concerned. Brought to you, of course, by Liberty Mutual. Our good buddies Moses and Rich Savino. They run the program today. There you see him. He, of course, is Chris Woodward. He manages the Texas Rangers. And let's get a conversation going. Chris, hopefully you're staying healthy. Great to have you with us. How are you today, pal? Okay?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. A lot to do here, some optimism, so we shall see. Let's do the ballpark first. Have you gotten a good feel of it? I know that there's been some batting practices in there and everything else. Sounds like a little bit more of a pitcher's park. Give me a little feel of your new field here once we open it up. What can you tell me?
Yeah, I think if you ask Joey Gallo, he'd say it's a pitcher's park. Some of our hitters, I think it plays neutral, honestly. The ballpark's beautiful. Honestly, our players love it. Our staff, just everybody raves about it. So it's unfortunate we're not in it yet. We were supposed to be in it a while ago, but everything is state of the art. You know, the amount of things we have available to us and the players, it's a tremendous facility, and we can't wait to start playing games in it.
Now, I know that you've had some players probably, in very small gatherings, but you've had players basically work out at the facility, Chris. Has that been true?
Yeah. I mean, we're taking all the, the precautions necessary to keep everybody away from each other. Everybody's kind of working out in the facility. We only have 8 or 9 guys working out at this time, but usually in groups of 2 or 3. Like I said, following all the same safety measures. But yeah, they've been able to get out on the field, take BP, take ground balls. Joey takes some fly balls in the outfield, so it's they've gotten a chance to see what the field plays like and what it looks like, and they love it.
And I would think most of the time that roof's going to be closed, right? I know that's the way they do it up there in Houston. And with your hot weather, I would think you're probably going to play the majority of your seasons with the roof closed.
I would think so. I would probably say 2/3 of it would probably be closed, just based on the weather. In a typical season, obviously this year it'll probably be closed the whole time, just because we're going to start, so late in the season. But I think we'll have like a, 85 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever the threshold is to keep it closed.
All right, now, have you kept in touch? I know you got some of the players who have visited you at the ballpark, so yes, but are you sort of in touch with all 40 guys on your roster? Give me a little rundown on how you've kept up with it here in the last 8-9 weeks.
Yeah, it's been tough. I think early on, we kind of, I told our staff to maybe over communicate. We wanted to make sure we had everything the players needed. We wanted to make sure we were there for them, that, they knew we were there to provide anything that they may need. Whether it's, baseballs, a net, a portable mound. I mean, we shipped pretty much anything that a player needed to them just so they could continue to work out. But first thing first, like, we wanted to make sure they were safe, that them and their families were safe and healthy, and we could do anything possible to help that, we would. And, it's been a grind. It's been a grind, obviously, for all of us to try to communicate, but a lot of these calls, a lot of video calls, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, just to keep in touch.
All right, now listen, it's going to be, if we do play, and let's keep our fingers crossed, can be obviously much more of a sprint than a marathon. It's roughly half the season instead of the full season, which will be interesting to see how the managers play it. Give me some thoughts about how you're going to adjust there. I'm curious. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think especially with an extended roster, probably have a few more former guys on our roster, so it just changes everything. I've talked to a lot of people in the organization, and just an 80-game schedule, it is a sprint, especially with a shortened spring training, like most likely. So maybe pitchers aren't going to be stretched out as much. It's going to be a little more bullpen use probably early in the season. I mean, it's going to be, every game's going to be twice as important as it was before. And, a lot of teams are going to have a chance to make the playoffs because of that. Like, I think last year, if we'd played an 80-game schedule, we'd have been in the playoffs. So
yeah,
it just goes to, placing the importance on every single pitch. And that's what we do anyways. But at the same time, I probably will manage a little bit differently because of that.
Now, and of course, you're only going to probably play teams that are going to be in a corresponding division in the National League and teams in your own division. So you're not going to see, half the league. What's your take on that for a sec? Let me hear.
That's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are going to have to adjust to that. We're used to playing every team. We're really used to playing our own division. So I think for us, it's going to be different just because we may actually play the West. I don't know what division we're actually going to sit in. I don't know if we're going to be the Central or the West. So I think that for us is a little bit different. I think in New York, they're used to playing the Red Sox. They're used to playing those East teams. If we have to play the West, it's going to be for us, it's going to be a lot different just because we haven't played those teams as much. So I think, I don't know. We'll see. we'll see where they put us, but we'll figure it out when we get the schedule.
And how about spring training, Chris? I mean, as you said, you probably have about maybe, who knows, let's say 2-3 weeks. I would think probably 3 weeks. You had basically 2/3 of spring training before we had the pause, and you're going to have to revamp it. And with thinking of a season with a sprint, you can't get people hurt. Very tricky for a manager. How are you going to handle that there if we reconvene in mid-June? Let me get your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think everything we're doing now is kind of preparing for that. I think we're making sure our players are physically prepared. Make sure our position players are doing their sprints, making sure their pitchers are ramping up to when we do kind of hit the ground running in June. That there's no setbacks. I think I've told them many times, if they have a 2 or 3 week setback, that's a lot of season in only an 80 game schedule. So I think it's really important. Our medical staff, our pitching staff, everybody has kind of been involved in kind of gathering information and giving our players the best information possible to keep them healthy, and then also to make them the most effective when they actually return.
And I'm okay with experimentation. Do anything they want. And this is the year to do it. You want to, put a guy at second base in the 10th inning. I'm all right with that. Double headers, 7-inning games. I'm okay with that. Pitch clocks, I'm okay with. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things a manager wouldn't like, but if you want to experiment there, Christopher, this is the year to do it. Your thoughts there?
I agree. No, I agree. And I've talked to the league about that. I think we all have as managers. Just talk to the league about the openness that we have to anything. We don't want to get anybody hurt. We know that there's going to be risks when we come back. Anything we can do to prevent that. And then also on the health side, as from the player standpoint, yeah. I mean, I think we've all agreed. Putting a runner on second base maybe in the 10th inning makes the most sense, and so we don't play 19-inning games or something like that. So anything, exactly. It's a different year, and we all know that. So we'll all be open to whatever they put in front of us.
I don't know if they're going to give you robotic umpires. You in favor of that overall, or would you rather have a human being behind home plate?
I think I'd rather have the human being, but I'm not against having that, a robotic umpire. I think it's, there's a lot of gray area in that argument, but I think if it's the safest way, it may make the most sense. Just I don't know if managers are going to be able to, yell at umpires anymore.
Scream and yell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different game all around. I think I'm gonna have to yell through a mask or from 6 feet away, but we can make our feelings known. But at the same time, it's just gonna be so different for everybody.
Good job, Christopher. Keep up the good work. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll talk to you soon. Stay healthy. Thanks for a few minutes here today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got Chris Woodward of the Rangers. Great job out of Rich Savino, Moses Messina today. Liberty Mutual, of course, for High Heat. And I'll see you down the road. Stay safe.
You too. You too.